Hello, greetings, welcome. This is Dr. Suze with Evenstar Institute. I am here with Wasentha Young to talk about her upcoming class, Unveiling Your Divine. Hello, Wasentha, welcome, greetings. Glad you're here.
Greetings, glad to be here.
Good, good. So we're here to talk about your class, Unveiling the Divine. So could you just initially just tell us why the divine needs to be unveiled?
The divine, as it is, doesn't need any unveiling. From where we stand, it may need unveiling. From who we are, from what we've experienced in life, for what we have been taught in life, that's where then the veils start to drop in. So really and truly, it is unveiling the divine so that we could really experience what really is innately within ourselves and around us and connected to us through each other.
So you just said through our lifetime, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what you said, but through our lifetime, veils drop over the divine that we then need to unveil. Can you explain what that means a little bit?
Well, let's say you've had a traumatic experience. And because of that traumatic experience, you reshaped yourself in a certain way based on that experience. And so that's the veil. Whereas, like say, let me give you a personal experience of my own, okay? In my life, I felt free. And then I had a traumatic experience, which then shut me down. So I could not feel that freedom anymore because the traumatic experience made me say, maybe it's not a good idea for me to be this free. Women experience it sometimes in the past, with this is what your role is supposed to be. Whereas maybe you didn't feel that role when you were younger. So that's a veil. So to really get in touch with, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? Well, when I was younger, back in the 50s, let me put it this way, when I was in junior high school, they started giving people these tests to see what you were going to be in the world. Right? Now, my mind is very engineer-like. I can sometimes figure out the logistics of things, the patterns of things, but because I was African American, because I was a woman, they said, well, you would be really good in collecting data and looking for things that didn't fit data-wise, and that was going to be in a room with other women looking at data, not necessarily writing code, or anything of that sort. So that was a veil. Then I stopped believing in my ability to masterfully look at patterns and being able to reshape those patterns in certain ways so that something operates well or operates better. So that's a veil. And so that stopped me from really getting in touch with my authentic being, because my authentic being knew what it was before that input.
So it sounds like, so initially you used the word trauma or traumatic experience, but now as I'm listening to you, it doesn't have to be a traumatic experience. It can just be at any point where someone feels something as a true expression, but then for some reason that expression gets negated or stifled or suppressed. And it can be, we get voices from all around us telling us who we are and who we should be and what the world is supposed to be. And all of those things barrage us with these messages that if we're not aware of, we just kind of take and internalize. And so people might not even know when they're veiling themselves in order to be their authentic self. So this could be a very slow process that happens even unconsciously
Right.
to people. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. You may not even know that it's there.
And
Mm. And
so,
and then there's also the perspective of how you see the world and how you see yourself. And maybe there was shaming. So now when you have a conversation with someone, you might say, "Oh, I'm so stupid. I just don't know what, and you use this in a very nonchalant type of way, but it was something that you were told and you learned from someplace else that really and truly does not let you feel your intelligence
hmm,
and maybe your curiosity, or allow you to be not right, but learn more. So if you're not right, then that means that you're not intelligent, or if you're not right, that means that you're stupid. And you sought to internalize that. And I had one person say to me, "I'm the worrier of my family." And yet she was coming to me to kind of step outside of that, because she would take on the family problems, but
sure.
she wore it like it was a badge of honor in a way, you know. And so I worked with her to reshape that perspective of who she is in her family and what she holds and listens to in her family. And that it doesn't have to be the worry. It could be the perspective and understanding where that happens to be going and how that's happens to be making the people in her family feel. And she may be able to offer information to reshape that, rather than hold the worry and be the worrier of the family.
And so it sounds like what you help people do is to become aware of the patterns and the beliefs that are going on in their minds, and
Mm-hmm.
help them step into a place of awareness where they have a choice whether to
Yes.
follow those patterns or to change them. Is that
Yes.
correct? Does that sound right?
That is that's very close to it. Yes. There is something that in traditional Chinese medicine, in the 5 element theory, there's something that we call Jing. Jing is family energy. So, from my study of 5 elements, I realized that, well, we have DNA, that when you go to a doctor, they ask you if there's any propensity towards this, that, or the other. And what happens if you say yes? My family has diabetes. Well, then they'll say, you can offset this by doing this, this, or this, and that you don't have to fall into the diabetes. But sometimes that diabetes might also have been had occurred from how your family dealt with the emotional experiences in their life. So they just went out and bought the ice cream and the candy and the soda and and so then they supported this little crack that might be there, and then wound up with diabetes. So there's this emotional thing that gets passed on. And so, yes, on the physical level, we want to work with our healing, but the emotional level also needs to be worked on for healing. And that's sort of another type of what I might call a veil. So there is this unmasking of the role you play in your family, the emotional support that your family operated from. So there's that aspect as well. My relationship in life has mostly been involving transformation. So the unveiling has to do with allowing yourself to transform, to add yet a different perspective slightly. If the veil needs to be there may be another angle where you can look and see the sunlight through that. If the veil needs to be there, or you can open the curtain and just let the sunlight come in.
And so this really is kind of a gentle unfolding process that you lead people
Yes.
through
Mm-hmm.
in the class Unveiling Your Divine.
Yeah.
Letting them just kind of naturally look at things that have shaped them and giving them a choice of whether they want to continue allowing those things to shape them or take a different turn.
Yes. And what I try not to do is to harbor on the past too much, but to stand from where you are. Embrace all of who you are.
Nice.
The
You're
good,
divine.
the bad, and the ugly. And that's it, absolutely. Because divine energy includes all of that.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at life and death, one might say death is bad, you know, but it's part of the divine, you know, as well. So the good, the bad, and the ugly is all a part of your divine being. So if we can kind of come to that place, and, you know, I offer exercises, I offer expressions, I offer movement, I offer release, you know, for you to safely kind of let yourself know that there are many perspectives that you can kind of look through or experience yourself in.
Fantastic. So that's what students have to look forward to, when they take your class, Unveiling the Divine.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, Wasentha, is there any final word or expression that you would like to give to potential students or current students about your class and summing it up?
Well, I would say stay to the soft side of your pain. Let yourself stretch and open from there.
Nice. Stay to the soft side of your pain and let yourself stretch and open from there. I like that. Thank you. That's beautiful.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So links to Wasentha's class will be in the comments below. I was told I'm supposed to do that in the comments below. So look for the links to Wasentha's class. And thank you for joining us, Wasentha. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.